Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of the Does That Make Sense podcast. I am excited. First of all, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to everybody who tuned in and listened or downloaded or subscribed to YouTube for the first episode. It was more than I expected, honestly. I was, in my wildest dreams, always hoped that people would have a good time with it, people would engage it. The immediate text messages and some of the likes and shares was just quick and pleasant and kind. So thank you so much for tuning in and for, at least giving us a chance with this fun, thing that we're working on. So hopefully we keep you engaged, and we're going to come up with some fun, poll type stuff, questions and games and, other stuff to get you guys to let us know, make it make sense, or, hot takes, or all kinds of fun stuff that we're going to be messing around with and playing around with and doing as part of a way to get you guys to be a part of this with us. So thank you so much. This episode is brought to you by Real Sports, which is, we're going to talk a lot about it, but Real Sports is on the property of Refuge where we sit, and it's a baseball training facility that you can rent. It's got lanes for batting and pitching practice. It's got something called a hit tracks, which simulates different sport, baseball environments. It'll track pitching and hitting velocity and exit, angle and all kinds of stuff. So if you are into baseball, if you have a nephew or niece or cousin or child that's into baseball, visit realholdingscompany.com/sports. That's REEL holdingscompany.com/sports for more information on Real Sports. One exciting thing that's happening is there's going to be some soccer stuff that's being developed. There's some soccer fields that are getting put on this property as well. That's part of the Real Sports complex. And so there'll be soccer, hopefully next year. So super exciting. So thanks, Real Sports, for helping us get this thing moving and being a part of it. So today we're going to open the first segment with a very special guest, somebody that I'm very excited about, even showed up to work today. I'm really looking forward to having a conversation with him. If you listened to last week's episode, you heard me say that my producer was on vacation, which was partially true. He took a vacation to go visit and do some stuff. I think it was a friend's birthday. I'm not entirely sure when we started celebrating birthdays for a whole week, but we're going to talk about it because my guest today is my producer for this opening segment, Mr. Brandon Hurst. What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
How are you?
I'm doing better now that I'm here.
I'm glad you showed up.
Yeah, well, I actually wasn't even at a birthday party. I was just at home. I didn't want to be here, actually. No, I had a Friday. You remember Durgy used to work here.
Yes, shout out. I wanted to shout out Durgy too because I did know that you were going to celebrate his birthday. Mike Durgy worked for Replay for a long time and was huge. We love Durgy. So happy birthday, belated, man. Thanks for the invite to celebrate with you, I guess. So you were with him? No.
Yeah, so on Friday and through Saturday, I was actually camping with him and a couple of our other buddies from the film days. And after that, I actually had a family reunion the following week, which you cleared. So
nice.
Yeah, and I was actually whitewater rafting when you did this last week.
How did that go?
It was not the whitest water. It was pretty slow, so it was doable.
It was gray water rafting.
Yeah, the worst part was getting hung up on rocks. It wasn't like we were panicking for our lives. The worst part was getting out and then moving the boat back on. But while you were filming the podcast, we took a break. We pulled over and wanted to do lunch. And Uncle Fred, the one who put the whole thing together, demanded that we all do a foot race. So he started with the kids.
Okay.
He started with the kids, and he had all the little 5-6-year-old kids come up and do a foot race. I'm just sitting there. I'm I could smoke all these kids right now if I wanted to. And then he eventually got the moms, and then eventually the dads. I'm I'm not a dad, but I'm getting in there, dude. I'm gonna dig. I'm gonna go as fast as I absolutely can.
Set, go.
I got top heavy. I don't know if you know anything about that. But
Yes.
Top was going faster than the bottom, and there was a root. I was like, I got to miss that root. But no, I felt right onto the root. And actually, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but
I can.
I got a pretty gnarly little bruise
It's
here.
going to get worse, too. What day did that happen?
That was last Wednesday.
Oh,
so that was my punishment for not being here last week.
I mean, if you'd have been here, I could guarantee you wouldn't have tripped on a root. Like, that's one thing I can say for sure is that we protect people from root damage in the ground and in your hair.
There you go.
Anyway, so I made a joke last week that I didn't know. I stumbled over saying like and subscribe, and I joked about how it was because I'm 41. It was really just because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
But I was, that reminds me is that I know all too well about the top going faster than the bottom because I'm trying to walk like in the evenings. Like I'm trying to get a certain amount of steps in over the course of a week. And this happened maybe last week. I was trying to get across the street. The light started blinking, and I'm like, okay, I need to pick up the pace a little bit. And I broke into a small jog, and immediately was reminded why I don't break into small jogs. Like my knees and my ankles immediately were like, we don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to play basketball. Like I was an athlete,
Same.
as you can tell by looking at me, obviously.
Did you go to Liberty?
No, I went to a tiny little Christian school, which is probably why I was an excellent athlete. Did I just have a third syllable in that word?
did. You
I said
added one.
athlete
Well, it's a little bit fancier that way, I think.
because it was a private school. So the third syllable is reserved for those who pay to go to school. And so I joke because I was on my starting team in basketball.
Yeah.
We only had 5 players.
Okay.
So
there's no subs.
Yeah. So it was really easy to be, and I was like the second tallest.
Yeah.
So it was easy for me to have like just prime position, and I got a lot of shots, and
Oh, yeah.
like it was great. But I was an athlete. I was like significantly, obviously lighter than I am, and I used to run all the time. So I know all too well about the top going.
So what happened when someone got injured?
We played with 4.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
We actually played some games with only 4 because people fouled out.
Wow.
Like somebody fouled out of the game. And we played. There was one season where I played every single second of every single game that we had because we did not have subs.
Wow.
Yeah, I was the second leading scorer in the county.
Yeah.
Which in the newspaper looked really good, but nobody realized that I was taking 700 shots a game.
Yeah.
Because I never sat down.
Yeah.
My worst stat is that I went 1 for 19 from the 3-point line 2 different games.
Oh wow.
I would have got kicked off any other team that existed.
Well, I hate to brag. When I played basketball at Liberty, started in 8th grade.
Yeah.
We had a heck of a record. I think it was like 0 and like 20 or something like that.
You were undefeated in winning.
In losing.
Losing.
Yes.
Okay.
We were great losers. You heard sore losers. We were really good.
You were really good
losers.
at it. Prime.
So I took the next year off. It was 7th grade. Took 8th grade off. They won 0 games without me. So I was like, obviously they need me back on the team.
100%.
So they brought us back for 9th grade.
And then how many did you win?
And we won 0 games 3 years in a row. So the third year was freshman year. We won 0 games. It was so bad that they one of the parents wanted to take us out to eat like at a buffet afterwards, and it was like they were like, "You guys tried your heart out, man. We're gonna go to Golden Corral. You guys eat whatever you want."
Yeah. Because Cece's Pizza's for winners.
Yeah,
Golden
no.
Corral is for the losers.
Yeah, yeah.
Does anybody remember Cece's Pizza?
Oh yeah, it used to be over there by the mall.
Yeah, it was where Men's Warehouse. I don't know why I know that. What a random thing to know.
You
But
know, because you're a regular, dude.
I
That's
was a
why I
regular.
know.
When I walked in, they were like, well, we need more pizza. You know, the 125-pound senior who's really good at basketball is here. And then I would eat all the macaroni and cheese pizza that they had.
They still have them. We ran into a couple on the road doing some of those fishing trips that we do.
I feel like if I went into it now, I would regret that I ever ate there.
It wasn't good. It was way
can't-
better as a kid.
Yeah. Also, have you eaten at a Golden Corral recently? I hope you say no.
Other than like celebrating a bad season, no, I don't think so.
Okay, because it's my daughter went there. She'll be 11 this year. Okay, and so friends took her, and she went and she came back and she was like, "It was good. I liked it." And I was like, "That sounds like something who is like a mature adult would say when they don't want to offend somebody, you know?"
Yeah.
And I didn't say that to her, but I thought that. And I was like, what'd you get? And I got chicken nuggets. I got macaroni and cheese. And she's like, do you know that they have like a fountain with chocolate? And I was like, gross. But yeah. You know, because I know that right before she went there, some kid probably had their face in it, you know? And she was like, no, but I liked it. It was good. And I was like, yeah, I'm not really as big a fan of it. And she was like, yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
She's like, immediately she changed her mind. Like, I realized that I probably am being too nice. And my dad's just giving me permission to say I don't like it. I was like, you just said you liked it. And she's like, I liked it, but I didn't. And the truth is that I didn't. I was like, okay.
Whose feelings is she saving?
That's my thing. I think that she was nervous that I would like it, and then her saying she didn't like it would hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And then when I said I'm not a big fan, she was like, oh, I have permission to say how I really feel about this. I didn't like it either.
She's walking on eggshells a little bit.
Yeah, she was nervous.
I think it's an old Jim Gaffigan joke where he talks about, like, if you know what a corral is, it's a big thing that all of the livestock go to just eat out of. And this one's golden.
Yeah,
so
but
come on, all you pigs and cows.
if you need a good food joke, Jim Gaffigan's the man.
Oh, he's the king of them.
So how is Durgy?
Durgy's doing great. I mean, he had the shortest shorts on I've ever seen. Got one heck of a sunburn. But you know how Durgy is. He pulled it off. Like, first thing I said, look at them legs, baby. Go ahead.
Oh, my God.
But no, I mean, he had a great week. He put up a projector for the nighttime, and he ran the Lord of the Rings trilogy underneath of a tent.
That's on par. That's works.
Not a big Lord of the Rings guy, but it was a very cool vibe.
Yeah.
Checked it out.
It would be fun just to have that as part of like the experience.
Oh, yeah. He had a whole speech on the second day about how the Lord of the Rings means like a lot to him for this reason and that reason. And I'm going to butcher it if I try and do it. But it was a beautiful speech. He brought tears to my eye.
Durgy, if you're watching, I want to have you on so you can tell me why Lord of the Rings matters.
Oh, he'll be good at this too. It wasn't us. You remember Jackson Guido used to work for us?
Yes, absolutely.
I think him and Jackson actually helped someone with a podcast and ended up just because they were like, I need a guest. I need a guest this week. Come on. And they sat in and they did such a good job. They just had him there every single week.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
No, both of them.
What was the topic? Like, what type of podcast?
I don't
just
even
anything?
remember. It was just some Black Squirrel Radio or something like that. They probably chatted about movies and writing and that kind of stuff.
I love all of it.
Yeah.
I love all of it. Durgy's one of my favorite writers.
Oh, my goodness.
So cool. Very cool. So I've been ribbing you a bunch, and of course I gave you permission. You requested to have the time off, and I was like, absolutely yes.
I even explicitly said, I said, should I count on going to this family reunion, or should I be there? And you said, you're going to that family reunion.
But what we haven't talked about yet is that we dropped the first episode on the date that we wanted to, but we couldn't shoot the first episode on the date we wanted to. Do you want to explain to everybody why? I didn't put that on the air until you could stand it.
I asked for it. No, I asked you to keep digging. I asked you to keep digging, so I'll tell you. So, yeah, we had a trip. This is the first replay trip that I was ever flown on. I think usually you just see Brandon's on a trip. It's like, make him drive. Don't worry about it. He doesn't need a plane ticket. So this is the first one that we actually flew to, and it's a bad excuse because I should have known that we had the podcast the next day, and I did drop the ball. Where's the camera? I dropped the ball. But we had to meet in Columbus because that's where the plane took off from. So when we came back, instead of taking all the gear back with me, and I had 2.5 more hours of driving off of little to no sleep, I said, Nate, you don't mind bringing that back up with you, do you? So I could just go get the dogs. Right. Because I had to put dogs in my back seat where there was gear.
Yeah. They're his dogs.
Yeah.
He wasn't just finding random animals.
No, I was. I was just driving around.
Oh, and then you got your dogs.
And then I got mine too.
You found 2 random dogs.
So I had a lot of gear in the back seat, and I dropped them off the day before going up to Nate's. So all the gear was in my car. And on the way back, I was like, I could save myself a trip and just have Nate bring all this gear up. And I left the stuff that I needed. And then the next day, I met with Ryan. I'm like, Nate's coming up today, right? And he was like, no, Nate's not coming up today. And I was like, are you sure he's not coming up today? Does Andy know that? And Andy already canceled the podcast, and I'm like, he didn't even tell me about it. He's probably so mad.
He didn't tell me he canceled it. You walked in my office that morning at Safe House, and I said, "What's up, Brian? What's up, Brandon?" You went, "I'm so sorry." Like you whispered it. I'm like, I mean, it is, it's not like we hadn't shot one yet. Like we still got it dropped on time. It's really, you were more upset about it than I was. Yeah. I was not upset. I was like, I wanted to get it out, but to be honest with you, I came to the studio that day earlier thinking, oh yeah, I want to get some things ready. We weren't ready yet. Yeah. So it actually was totally fine, but I wasn't going to let you off the hook without.
And then you were like, we'll just do it next week. And I was like, that family reunion.
I got that family reunion. So that's why you weren't here. So then we just went with it. So,
but I'm here now. I'm stoked. Here. This is awesome. I love the set. I think the set is gorgeous.
My favorite thing with last week was how it looked like I was sitting next to a green screen, and just because of how the colors, because this like faux greenery thing is just, it just pops on the screen. I'm literally, the worst thing about this set is me. And so everything else is just gorgeous. Everybody did an awesome job. I'm excited about this. You mentioned replay, you mentioned the travel. I do want to talk a little bit about kind of how you got here, because I like people to kind of understand the full picture. I did speak a little bit last week about replay and you. You and I have known each other for, I mean, it's probably been, I mean, at this point, how old are you?
I'm 28 now.
I mean, it's been more than 15 years, or at least 15.
I'd say so. Yeah, I think...
Because you were in middle school.
I was in middle school.
So it probably would have been 13, 14 when you first came. Because it was Safe House then, right?
Yeah. It was 6th grade when we started making our little web show.
I had a camera, and
Yeah.
I think I said this last week, that my parents bought me because I was telecommunications, YSU, blah, blah, blah. You would use that camera with your buddy Jared. Shout out Jared Faulkner. Love you, buddy. And you would make I mean, they weren't ridiculous. I say ridiculous, but I mean it in an endearing way. Like the very typical, like, bro comedy sketches with Jared for YouTube.
But completely unwritten and from the mind of a very early middle schooler. So
Yes.
we don't know where lines are drawn, what things we're supposed to and not supposed to say.
Yeah.
So
And you
it's
have-
fine that we talk about this. I've scrubbed it from the
You've
internet.
it doesn't exist anymore.
Well, it does. I just
If
have
there's
to know
some
where to
hard
find
drive
it.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Which there should be.
It's on Google Drive. I mean, no one's going to go hacking to find it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Pokemon card. It's called Arceus. Oh my gosh, you buy it. I got it off Walmart. It's one of those special packs. There's only 8 in the world.
Oh my. Can I lend it to you?
Yeah, you can borrow it. Hey, what's up, dude?
What's up, nerd punks?
No!
How y'all doing today? What kind of lunch money you got on you?
I don't have any. I don't have pockets.
Slap them stupid glasses off your face. Oh, where you going, nerd boy? I got a special treat for you.
No!
So that's how you met coming to it's a Safe House. It was the after school program then. And then when you got into high school, you weren't coming to the after school program. Everybody had stuff that they were doing. You graduated from Liberty. You went to Kent State. We talked about this. And then it was we didn't talk. I think
Yeah.
that we might have had random coffee
It was all
meetings.
through Chris Bratton. Chris was like, Andy's actually got a camera and he edits a lot of videos or this and that. I bet you I could talk him into letting you use the camera
Yeah.
and figuring out the editing software.
Right.
So he asked you about it. And then
And you
he would-
used my office computer, because I remember I
Yep.
used to be like, Brandon, we're closing. And you're
Yeah.
like, I need like 6. And then the wheel would spin, because this
Yep.
was before the
Yep.
computers were what they were. And you're like, I haven't saved yet.
It's called
and
a beach ball.
Beach ball, spinning wheel
balling.
of death. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you would do that, and then you graduated, went to Kent, and then we might have had random coffee meetings. I think I remember a couple random times that we had connected and talked. But it was that senior year where I was like wanted to do the short film for Safe House, the residential.
Yep.
And we told the teddy bear story, and then it was after that you graduated, and you're like, hey, I am graduated now. I need some employment. Do you have anything?
Yep.
And you worked for Refuge, which was
Yeah.
the Safe House after school program became.
I think that was the last year it was actually in
Right before,
operation.
yeah, right before COVID, kind of. It was a little bit before that, because then we were still in operation like normal when you moved over to Safe House.
Yeah.
And helped with like tech and like some systems things and all that.
Yeah.
And then when COVID happened, you and I really zoomed in on the Safe House systems, because we had time to
Yeah.
work on that we didn't have before. We did produced a small like 8-episode run of a Safe House podcast.
Oh, yeah.
That me and my dad did.
Banger.
It was fun.
I saw every episode at least twice.
I haven't watched any of them.
Really?
I just didn't. I was in them, and
Yeah.
I knew what we talked about.
Yeah.
And you were the guy that you would come with more notes than I would come watching it. So
Yeah.
I was just like, we'll just let him handle that.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't watch many of them. And we're going to have my dad on eventually too, to talk about some fun stuff. Okay. So then after Safe House, after we did that podcast, we were like, we should buy some camera equipment and we should do this upright. And then that turned into the media company.
Yeah.
Because of the fishing thing. And again, I don't want to rehash stories, but you're sitting here, and that's how we ended up here, because you fast forward 5 years, you've produced and or directed well over 100 episodes for Pursuit Channel. Now we're into the YouTube realm. and through crappie fishing series and National Crappie League and American Crappie Trail. We've done stuff for what's his last name? Legends of the Outdoors. Gary Mason. Legends of the Outdoors, which is like an outdoor hall of fame. We've produced all kinds of. You directed the majority of those episodes. Durgy directed some of the crappie ones. King Cat, I mean.
Yeah.
And if you want to see that, you can look them up. Like, those are still out there.
Absolutely.
We've got, like, AMW Promotions is the name of the company that's like the umbrella company of Replay Media Group. Replay has a YouTube. King Cat has a YouTube. If you search King Cat USA, you can find all those episodes. KingCatUSA.com, croppiefishingseries.com. Go check them out. All of your content that you've either produced, directed, or been on the crew for is available. It's amazing stuff. I just have a question before we take a break. Did you ever, in all of your wildest dreams, think that you would just be producing a lot of stuff, but primarily zooming in on the outdoor world?
No.
What has that been like?
No. So, I think it was like some kind of sign or something that Bob had up in his office that was like a big fish or something like that, and it said crappie on it, CRAPPIE. I was like, "What's crappie?" And you're like, "It's crappie," and I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And you're like, "It's a fish."
It's a fish.
I'm like, really?
Species.
Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool."
I bet the majority of the people listening did not know that was a species either, because
Yeah.
I didn't until we started.
Yeah, I had no idea. And then,
Can you imagine? I'm interrupting. Can you imagine you're a species? And that's the name. Like,
Yeah.
what are you? I'm crappie.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had no say in the
There's
matter.
shark. There's whale.
Yeah.
There's catfish, which has whiskers.
Oh, yeah.
Right. There's what other bass? All great names.
Yeah.
This guy, crappie.
I think it actually, a lot of people called him white perch or something along those lines, or white bass or something along. I might be butchering it, but
Yeah.
and then I think.
Don't worry. I'm not 100% certain that the fishing community is going to be actively engaging in Does That Make Sense podcast. Maybe.
Fishing
we did
community-
get some people that shared it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Fishing
But
community
we'll see.
loves to chime in on this kind of thing.
But we do love the fishing community because they're a type of person all on their own.
Oh, yeah.
They see the world in a way that I wish more people would, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, they if they are listening, there's going to be some comments about how it's white perch or crappie or whatever.
Some along those lines, and I think the way that the white perch evolved or white bass, whatever it ended up being, they had to figure out another name for what the species was, and they ended up calling them crappie, something along those lines. Could be butchering that, but that's the last I heard of it. I think Scott said something about that on one of the last ones, which I don't know if you noticed this, but Scott's been a big crappie guy. You know what I mean?
You just say crappie.
Very big. That's how they say it down there.
Down
And he
there in
swears.
South Carolina.
I tell you what, that's how he says it down there.
Shout out Scott and Alicia. They are the tournament officials and the administrative assistant for the King Cat USA and Crappie Fishing Series. They work for AMW Promotions as well.
Salt of the earth, those people.
Yeah.
Love them to death. But I think
says
we got
crappie.
through him to him. I think we got through to him because he started saying crappie recently.
Started saying crappie.
I think he'll catch himself and he'll be like, no, I say crappie.
Yeah.
But I've been hearing a lot of crappie coming out of
South
him.
Carolina's coming out. Super cool. We've also done some music videos. We've done some short films. We've done some like live stream stuff for like corporate things. So it's been, I mean, it's interesting. Not a lot of people, and we'll get serious just for a second, but not a lot of people can turn their 6th, 7th, 8th grade hobby into like a job.
Yeah.
And it's been cool to watch you. And I'm especially excited because like having I say my producer, I don't like taking ownership of that kind of stuff because it feels like ownership and it's not. Like you work, you earn the money. Like this, you're a professional, you're an adult, you can do what you want. But to have you start in our relationship as this kid and then watch you, and now you're helping me accomplish my dreams while you're accomplishing yours and setting yourself up. It's just a neat experience.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for
When
what
I'm
we're
not
gonna
at a
do
family
here.
reunion.
With I'm gonna skip over it, because like you're allowed to have the occasional break.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm excited, buddy.
I'm
I
excited
can't
too.
wait
This is
to
gonna
see
be
what
awesome.
we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back. I watched a documentary recently, and we're gonna talk about it. And I think it's gonna be interesting. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The facility here has just been tremendous. They're 16-foot wide bays with the netting being able to be pulled back. They have the hit tracks. This place is very conducive to getting work done. I would highly recommend Real Sports for anyone that's looking to develop either their individual players or their teams.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Thanks so much for, again, being a part of episode 2 of Does That Make Sense? We had my producer here for the first segment, and I want to get into something that I've seen just this past weekend. Part of what I want to do with the podcast is talk about movies and TV shows or things that I've watched. And then Brandon's off the camera, but he's still on the mic. And I have to ask him, too. Have you seen Superman yet? Did you see Superman? The new one?
I have not seen Superman yet, but I've heard that it's got a lot of political undertones.
I mean, I think, to be honest with you, given the political climate, I think people are just projecting a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Because I think that if it wasn't like if the politics of the nation right now weren't so like a divisive topic, I don't know that people would have picked out those things. I think everybody's got like a exposed nerve to that. It was fine.
I heard one of the participants in the geopolitics actually complained and tried to stop it.
Really?
I did.
I didn't hear that. But there was definitely, and also too, movies take so long to make that like, it's not like they shot it 2 months ago. You know, this was shot, months and months and months ago. And the political discourse is different now than it was then, a little bit, but different, Yeah. Like there was a different person in office when the film was being shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody was like running and there was a lot of talk, but like the things that are happening in the world right now, exactly right now, were not happening when the movie was being shot. It wasn't happening when the movie was being written.
Yeah. Well, and I want to be careful to walk on eggshells with the whole thing, but it was the thing, the people who complained have been in a war that's been going on for hundreds of years, though.
Yes. I mean, and that's definitely true. And maybe that discourse there's definitely undertones of like humanity and people need to treat each other like, just because they're human, regardless of their beliefs or their heritage and all that. And I don't know, that's hard not to get on board with when you just hear the basic stuff of it. So I guess I can understand the undertones there. But it was fine. Like it was a good Superman movie.
I heard it was pretty solid.
James Gunn is it was a James Gunn film. Like if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy and you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, you're going to like this movie. Like it was fine.
My little brother told me I needed to watch it, and I asked him about the political undertones. He's like, I mean, yeah. He said the same thing you did, basically. Like, yeah.
It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
And if they were there, it was all like, okay, like this is what it is now,
Yeah.
And Hollywood's always had their message that they've shared, you know? For good or for whether you agree with it or not, these guys are writing movies. They want to put stuff in there, don't watch it if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I also watched Eddington, which is an Ari Aster film.
Really?
Yes. And
It's in theater already?
Yes. And
how was it?
It was good.
We should talk about this while I was on camera. I could have yapped you up about that. That's all
We're
right.
going to talk about Ari Aster. We have a game we're going to play at the next segment, so we can get into that. But Eddington was good too. It wasn't better. They're two different genres. Like Eddington, Ari Aster is kind of a horror thriller guy. Hereditary, I don't even know how to say it. Midsummer, which still to this day makes me crazy. Like it was wild. But Eddington was good. Joaquin Phoenix, underrated actor.
Oh yeah.
I think he's underrated.
I think these days he's adequately rated. I think that he got a lot of flack for Joker. How do you say the second part? Do you know?
Folie à Deux. Which was fine.
Hot take. I liked it.
I did too.
I liked it. I know no one else did, but
I liked it. You sounded like a particular politician when you. I liked it. Okay. Anyway,
he actually did the Beau is Afraid. Did you see Beau is Afraid?
I have not seen Beau is Afraid, but I do know that that's another Ari Aster film and Joaquin.
A lot of people didn't like that one either. I liked it.
But. Yeah, A24. Eddington's A24. So yeah. Anyway, but I do want to talk about a documentary that I watched called Shiny Happy People. And if you are unfamiliar with Shiny Happy People, it's got 2 seasons and it's like a docu-series. The first season was about the Duggar family. They are I don't know much about them. My wife, if my wife sat here, I wouldn't get anything to say at all. She watched all of I think it was like 18 and counting, and then it was 19 and counting, or I don't know. They have tons of kids, right? And the Shiny Happy People season 1 is kind of about exposing some of the darker parts of that type of family, that family in particular. I think one of the oldest sons, and I don't know all the details. He got in trouble with stuff, like with the law. There's some, I don't know if it's like just inappropriate behavior with family or somebody else or whatever. But so the documentary season 1 exposes some of this. Season 2 of Shiny Happy People kind of goes in that same vein of like peeling back the curtain of something that seemingly seems like this, like the title says, is shiny and happy, and behind the curtain is like darker. Like there's an undertone to it. There's something to it. And the reason I want to talk about it today is because it's something that is particularly close to me that I experienced a lot. And if you're not familiar, it's on Prime Video. Go watch it. It's well produced. It's well directed. It's well put together. Even if you don't know about the topic going into it, it's still a fascinating watch. But Shiny Happy People season 2, it was just released not that long ago. I think the 23rd of this month. And it's about Teen Mania Ministries, which is a youth organization that was really popular in the late 90s, early 2000s. And they held these events called Aquire the Fire, which were these massive like arena style events for teenagers where they had guest speakers come, they had bands come, and it was very Christian based, evangelical Christian based, very like high energy, try to get you motivated. Like, we're on fire for God and we love God. And I mean, I grew up going to church. Like the minute that I was some of my earliest memories, I was in church, right? I went to a church that had church on Sunday mornings, Sunday nights, Wednesday nights. And we went every time the church was open. My dad was known as what's called a lay leader, which is he was a volunteer leader in the church. Like he was a youth pastor. He ran youth events. Like he ran a youth event called Teens for Christ, T for C. And I'll never forget it because it was designed for teenagers. So he would kind of bend the rules a little. And if you were 12, like if you were 12 years old, you could attend T for C. I remember being 10 and 11 and my own dad being like, you can't come, you're not 12. And I was like, no, I was like devastated, right? And he would show these like videos of, you know, a Christian music artist that had these like sermons, like lectures, like these different things. And I just remember, man, I can't wait till I'm 12. I get to go to T for C, you know? And then I turned 12, you know, and he let me go every now and then, or he'd let me be like, you can stay for 5 minutes, but it's really for teenagers. And I really don't know if he was just, because it wasn't like the topics of conversation or the part was too inappropriate for me at 11. I just think he really wanted to like honor the rule that you had to be 12. And so he'd let me kind of peek in and I got to experience it a little bit. But that's the church that I grew up in. Very, very, very religious household, generally conservative. And we really believed that in order to be a good Christian, you had conservative morals, conservative political beliefs, conservative, behaviors. Like the church that I grew up in was, and this was before we moved into this area. The church that I grew up in, where my dad was a lay leader, used to preach like against going to, it's so funny. We talked about movies before I started talking about this because they didn't like people going to movie theaters. They didn't like people wearing jewelry. They didn't like people going to bowling alleys. And it wasn't because they thought those things were inherently bad. It was because the things that people do in those places are bad and you couldn't be around it. Right. And so it was a very like fear driven, behavior modification type of like raising up like young people. And I always felt it was weird because like I never really understood how a wedding ring was problematic, and they would give me Bible verses and I'd be like, yeah, but that doesn't, I don't get it. Like it's a different time. And even as a kid, I always had these questions. And so, but I grew up very religious, super religious, very conservative. I was ordained as a pastor when I was like 19 years old, right? My dream when I was really little was to be the pastor of a church. Like that's all I wanted to be. I was going to be a pastor of a church. I still believe that a church that serves its community is important. I still believe in the gospel of Jesus. Like I care deeply about what it means to be a follower of Christ. But I think a lot of people that grew up with me might look at me now and be like, you're a different person. To which I would say, thank you. Like, I'm grateful that you see that, because I don't want to ever be the type of person that other people made me feel like, right? I don't want to make other people feel the way that other people made me feel when I was a kid. If I had questions about things or if I messed up or whatever. And so I'm saying all this to say that this Shiny Happy People documentary was about Teen Mania Ministries and these Aquire the Fire events. And they held this year-long internship called the Honor Academy. And what it did was it was talking about how you were being like ingrained in the gospel of Jesus, and we're raising up leaders because we're in a culture war. And if you want to fight a culture war and you want to like get the country back to Jesus, then you got to do it with the young people, and you got to teach the young people, and you guys are going to be the ones that win this nation back for Christ. And I remember as a kid, I was like, brah, like, yeah. And like led to believe that like my job was to be persecuted. Like I was in America. I was absolutely going to be persecuted for my beliefs because of some text that was in the Bible that I believed was about right now. You know what I mean? And I've never been persecuted for my Christian beliefs by anybody except like there's a statement that says that there's no hate like Christian love. And I can honestly say without a doubt that the most pain I've ever experienced from other people is from other people who claim to be followers of Christ. Those are the ones that have made me feel the worst and have hurt me the deepest. And that's my personal experience. That's not true of everybody. I'm not claiming that that's true of everybody. I'm not painting everybody with that brush. But what I'm saying is that when I watched this documentary about Teen Mania and I watched footage of this honor academy, it sent shivers all up and down my body, because when I tell you that I was minutes away from signing up for this academy, when I was minutes away from wanting to go to it, at one of the Aquire the Fire events, they asked who wants to go. And I stood up and they walked us. And I can't remember if I actually walked into the room. And I want to say that because I don't want to misrepresent the story. But they had us walk into a room where they had us fill out paperwork. And we basically were like signing up for it, you know? And I think one of the biggest reasons why I didn't take any further steps to it is because we had to raise money ourselves to go. Right. And it was this internship that you paid for to be a part of, and then you participated in. And that felt weird to me because it's like, I don't want to go ask people for money. I don't want to be away from my family for a year. I don't really want to do this. And so I stopped, you know, and, but thank God I did, because I didn't go. And this documentary exposed this thing as a lot of military style training. You got to watch it. If you haven't, you got to watch it. Actually, ironically enough, I talked about how we went to it. If you go to the first episode and you go to time code 2710, 2711, 27 minutes, 12 seconds, that's my group. We're wearing lime green shirts. The bus broke down on our way there, but, we're wearing lime green shirts. Like we're on, you know, you don't see me specifically, but that's my group is there. And I was a teenager and I was so excited about it. And it just led me to, and I wanted to talk about it on this. And I told the people in this room before we started that I didn't want to be controversial with this. I didn't want the podcast to be something that was like divisive. And there's some people probably that might watch this that grew up with me or knew me as a young person. They're gonna be like, well, I can't believe he's even thinking of some of these things. And I'm not, my core beliefs and values haven't changed. They've just they've just kind of evolved. They've grown as I've grown and as I've met more people and as I've done my own study. And so at the core, I still believe in the basic tenets of treat people kindly, love others unconditionally. You know, there was this concept when I was growing up that like the self doesn't matter at all. Like you have to sacrifice yourself and you have to die to yourself. And there's a lot of text in the Bible that talks about that, but that got translated to my young mind and to a lot of people in my generation's young minds, that meant that you don't worry about your feelings. And it created this lack of self-care in like the millennial church going generation, right? Where they never really thought that they were supposed to care about how they felt. And I've learned through my life and my experiences and through talking to other people that there's a lot of young people, or a lot of people that were young when I was young, that have grown up and they've abandoned all of those beliefs because they were so burnt out by it. They had depression, and, you know, some of them experienced, deep, dark moments. And so when I was watching this, and I wanted to talk about it because, like, I don't know if you're paying attention to this, if you're listening to this, if you've experienced like this type of religious trauma, or this experience where it became something different than what it was supposed to be. But like Teen Mania and Aquire the Fire and Global Expeditions, which is like their worldwide missions thing, eventually became like a political movement. And I meant to grab the book from the office upstairs, but the guy who started it wrote a book called Battle Cry. And it was basically this massive idea that everything is like, if you're a Christian and you're young, the world is out to get you. You have to protect yourself and you have to fight back. And one of the ways that you're going to fight back is to get involved in politics, to get involved with your local stuff, to go to your schools and to like, you know, be rebellious for the Lord. And I found that interesting because, I mean, I went to a Christian school, but I knew my friends that went to public schools. They didn't have to be rebellious. There was opportunities for them to share and to talk to friends and to live their lives unpersecuted without it. But we were taught, we were led to believe that it was us versus them. And it just seemed counter to what, when I read the words of Jesus was like, how you treat the least of these is how you treat me. And, you know, love others regardless of who they are or what they believe. And, you know, pay your taxes, right? Like these are these things that Jesus was like, yeah, like follow the rules basically, you know? And if a rule is asking you to compromise your beliefs, yeah, maybe brush up against it. But none of the rules ever asked me personally to compromise my faith, you know? And so anyway, I'm all over the place, but I really want to zoom in on the fact that like the world that we're living in, and I hate venturing into politics, but the political climate, we talked about it when we talked about wokeness in the Superman movie. There's a lot of people that still believe, and they're adults now, the same things that they were taught when they were teen mania kids, is that America is some hotbed of this massive spiritual war. And my experience is that I think that that's been a distraction from us being focused on loving more people. And I guess what I want to say with this is that if you're a person who's in their mid 30s through your mid 40s, you're in that millennial generation, and you have experienced like this same thing that I did, is that I guess you can come out on the other side of it. That I feel more confident in my faith than I ever have in my life. I feel more confident in loving people unconditionally, regardless of if they believe the same things that I believe, more now than I ever have in my life. I have more friends who believe differently than I do, than I would have ever had at any other time in my life. And they are dear to me. And my life is fuller now than it was when I thought that I had to have a small circle that all believed the same thing I believed. And our job was to get everybody else to believe what we believed, or write them off as just a lost cause. Do you know what I mean? And so, the way that this documentary, the last 10 minutes of the third episode of this, tied together the current political climate with all the things that these teenagers, 15, 16, 17-year-olds went through, and how they were basically indoctrinated to become a political movement that through laws and becoming politicians and becoming lobbyists and becoming religious leaders in the government to flip, you know, the script on how laws are made. Because, you know, if God doesn't run how the country's run, then we're all damned. We're all gonna end up in a bad place. And what I've learned by watching, you know, because another thing that happened is that when I was a kid growing up, they were always talking about the end times. Like the end times are near, and Jesus is going to come back, right? And I remember thinking that I'm not going to ever get married because Jesus is going to come back before I get married. And I remember, and this is too much information, but I saved myself for marriage. And I remember thinking as a young boy, oh, I'm never going to get to be intimate with anybody because Jesus is going to come back. And that was the thing that I was like bummed about. Like if Jesus came back and I entered in glory and it's all it is what we're taught it is, I was bummed that was going to happen because I never got to be intimate. Oh no. Right. And so like when I got married, and then I've had 3 children and I've been married to my wife, it'll be 15 years in a couple of weeks. It's just so funny because my mom told me a story that when I was a child, she would cry with me in her arms when I wouldn't sleep at night because she wasn't sure if we would have tomorrow. And I thought to myself, that is not at all the way the Bible reads to me now. Like, why are we so, and maybe you get it. I don't have to belabor the point, but it was so eye-opening to see all of these things right in front, because they interviewed people who experienced this. And then if they messed up, they got kicked out and they had to claw their way back in, and they're living with this hurt and this pain. And I just remember thinking, I know so many people who were hurt by the church because the church made them think that they were not quite good enough, and they were just people, you know? And so I'm talking about this because it doesn't make sense. And I want to make more sense of it. And we're going to talk about it more. And it's going to be kind of a thread in the podcast over time, because I believe in the red words of the Bible that Jesus said, because he said to love your neighbor as yourself, to treat the least of these, to take care of the widow, to take care of the orphan, to feed the hungry, to provide resources, to work together. Very, he talked a lot about not using the church to grift, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but there was so much of the person of Jesus that I feel like is lost, because if you're a Christian, you're this politically. If you vote this way, then you're not a Christian. If you don't vote this way, then, whatever. And it just, I don't want us as a group of people, and I don't know what this audience is. It's still building. I don't know if it's going to be adults or if it's going to be millennials, if it's going to be young people. But if you're listening to this and you have ever experienced a sense of like, man, the church burned me, please don't attach Jesus to the burn that the church gave you, because I really don't believe that Jesus, the red words in the Bible, were ever intended to cause, they might have been intended to cause some conviction, like, that hit home a little bit. Like, I don't serve the widow and the orphan the way that I'm supposed to. That challenges me. But deep depressional pain and a lack of self-confidence is not what the red words were supposed to do. And my dad watched the documentary, and he called me and he was like, I feel like there's elements where I should have done more to like protect you guys from that. And I was like, well, Dad, you were a pastor of a church. Like, he was the pastor of the church that we went to those things with. I said last week that my dad made decisions about how to do youth ministry that the church organization didn't like, and they basically kicked him out. And so I looked at my dad and I was like, you don't need to apologize to us. You saved us from it. Like, you taught us different. I'm more open-minded to the idea of unconditional love and than ever. And it's because you like pulled us out of it. You made decisions that we got pushed out, but because you stood your ground and you thought this is how it should go, we were pushed out of that. And I'm forever grateful for that. And so I want this to be a space where we feel safe. I want this to be a space where we connect on things. I want this to be a space where we have the opportunity to be honest with each other. And I really want people to understand that if you experience this, it's okay. If you're in the middle of it and you're like, I'm a little lost, it's okay. I don't know. I don't know what I can do, but I know that you're not alone. And I want you to be encouraged, and I want you to watch it. If you grew up in a Christian household, if you grew up religious, non-religious, watch it, because it's eye-opening just to see that like some people have some very specific plans about how to obtain certain elements of power. And we need more people to know it, because if you disagree with it, then you have a better idea of like, this is what I can do about it. And if you agree with it, great. That's the beauty of the freedom of our ability to choose. And I'm not saying one's more right than the other in terms of like the belief system, but I am saying that don't be dumb to it. Don't just put your head in the sand and go, it's not, too much. I don't want to worry about it. And so, Shiny Happy People, Prime Video, watch it. Does that make sense? Like, does the whole thing make sense? And I there's a lot of it that doesn't. And I hope that we can have conversations about how to make more sense of it, and we can love each other deeper, and we can love each other more, and we can love each other fuller. That's really all I have to say about that. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with a closing session, and then we're going to wrap up today. Thanks so much. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the first last week's podcast. We had one segment, just me rambling. We had an intro. We had me rambling again. And if that's, does that make sense with Andy Denon? So there's going to be me rambling. And that's okay. Then we're going to try to do like I almost said an outro segment. I like to break it up. I want to have some serious conversations, but I like to have a good time too. So Brandon's back with us for this segment. And we are going to play a little game. And then Allie bought us all scratch offs, and we're going to see if anybody won. We're going to do that too. And so the game, we'll just call it One's Gotta Go.
One's Gotta Go.
One's Gotta Go. You've probably seen this on Facebook. It's a random. We don't have a picture. We might put it in.
We're going to put a lot of this stuff in post. Yeah.
Yeah. We're also going to make my voice deeper in post. So if you see this podcast and it's the only thing you know about me, and you meet me in person, don't be alarmed when I sound like I've breathed in helium when we do meet.
And we're gonna make my voice higher pitched too. So in contrast,
I look deeper. And I don't know why they did this, but they added weight to me in post. That's ridiculous.
I told Ryan not to. He didn't listen.
He didn't listen. I actually 6'4", $190 of solid steel. But this is what they think the people want. Okay. And so anyway, I haven't been $190 in a minute. Okay.
That makes two of us.
And so the game is One's Gotta Go. And so we're gonna talk about 4 people or things or items or food or whatever, and then one's gotta go, and then you gotta defend it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the
I say we start simple. Let's do food first.
Food first.
Yeah.
So what are the 4? Are we doing food groups?
Yeah, let's do we're gonna do so not food groups, but more
like
or less
styles of food,
or ethnicities of food or something like that. I don't know if that's the word, but
okay.
So let's start
what are
with
the 4?
The 4 are gonna be. We'll start with American food. Okay, that is like burgers, fries, whatever. I mean, people will complain about what American food is or isn't, but you know what it is.
Are like barbecue included in this?
Sure.
Hot dogs?
Sure. Someone would disagree with it, but sure, we'll include all that stuff. Your
Who's
Memorial Day
disagree
foods.
with barbecue?
Because we got a lot of our food from other cultures. Hamburgers, technically from Germany, all that kind of thing.
Oh.
So, but we're gonna go with American food. We're gonna go with Italian food.
Okay.
We're gonna go with Mexican food. And we're going to group all of Asian food into Asian
so like
food.
Japanese,
Chinese, Korean, all that stuff, which someone would argue barbecue is included in Korean too.
Yeah, but I almost just said Korean barbecue is hard to get rid of.
It is hard to get rid of.
So American food, Asian food, Italian,
and Mexican.
And then Mexican. Mm-hmm. Real talk. Do you want to go first?
No, you go ahead.
Which one are you getting rid of? I'm not going to lie.
No one's going to like me for it.
Real talk. I think I might. If I had to get rid of one, it's probably Asian food.
Really?
Maybe. I might go American now.
Oh, okay.
What are you getting rid of? You're going to say Italian.
They're not going to like me for it. I'm going to say Italian.
You're going to say that. I'm going to
say Italian. I just want a bunch of noodles and meat to go with the noodles and sauce.
That's not even on my radar. My brother-in-law is Italian. He's texting me right now. And what's it say? Punch him in the face. Oh, yes. Okay.
You can't give up on
Allie's
sushi.
in the room saying she quit. She just turned in her resignation.
You can't give up on sushi. You can't give up on hibachi. You can't give up on any of that stuff.
I made hibachi for dinner 2 nights ago.
And you would have lost it if you would have gotten rid of Asian.
See, good point.
See,
but you know what I haven't made in a long time? A hamburger.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You know what I mean? And I don't like hot dogs.
Yeah.
That's
understand.
a hot take. That's a hot take. I'll eat them. When I go to a baseball game, I'll eat a hot dog.
Oh, yeah.
But if I'm like Memorial Day, or what are the other like summer Labor Day,
4th
like
of
picnics,
July,
4th of July, I'm like, give me a burger. Like I don't want a hot dog.
Same.
I will smash a brat though.
Oh yeah.
Little stadium mustard on a brat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, more than a hot dog.
American is easy to get rid of for sure. I'm a little more addicted to American food than I like to admit though, for sure. So I would probably keep that one.
Because pizza's not an American food. That's an Italian.
It is. It's been very Americanized.
Yeah, but where did it come from originally? Is it Italy? Is it
I thought
Italian?
it was Sicily. But yeah, I think so.
Where?
It's not.
That's Allie.
Are you sure it's not Sicily?
I heard somebody say it's like originally like there's Chinese influence in pizza. And so I don't know. We could easily look this up.
Yeah.
There's this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard of it, called the internet.
Yeah.
We could figure that out.
Absolutely. And also, by the way, feel free to chime in the comments. Tell us how wrong we are and which one you want to keep or not.
We're going to do this 2 more times. We have 2 other topics.
Yeah.
And I took too long. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, here we are.
Did we just meet? And so I think I'm probably honest, yeah, I might be getting rid of American food if I had to pick between those two, because Mexican just hits, you know,
You can't go wrong.
Yeah. Asian is such a broad range that you have so many options, and there's not the comfort food for me is Italian.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
You know, heavy carby cheese. When somebody says, I'm the guy, and people are going to hate on me for this, I don't do it often because I've learned how to make food better than I used to. But like Olive Garden, some people would argue that that's American Italian. It's not like pure Italian, and that's fine. I've never had a bad dish there, but I am the guy that they're like, tell me when. And I'm like, you're going to be here a while. Like that stupid joke, you know, like, oh, you got a second block of cheese back there. So the more cheese,
And then
the
once
better.
it's all done, you actually say the word when.
Yeah, and then when. I should have said it earlier. I don't know why my waiter's over here. But anyway, so that's me.
Do we want to get these guys?
Yeah, if you want to shout it out, Ryan, you're on the mic back
Ryan, you
there.
get a mic.
What are you getting rid of?
What were the options again? You said American,
Mexican, Italian, and Asian in general, which includes all of it.
I'm a sucker for Italian, and it would have to be between Mexican and I think it would probably be Mexican.
That you get rid of.
He doesn't like cilantro.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a cilantro guy.
Yeah, you have the soap gene?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Which I don't
just
believe
get
in, by
rid
the
of
way.
it.
I think it just tastes like soap a little bit. You either like it or you don't. But
He's literally telling Ryan that how he exists is not real.
no,
taste buds
it
are
also
wrong.
tastes like soap to me, is what I'm saying.
Oh, so-
but you just either get past it and start to enjoy it. I don't put it on my tacos, but
Well, what I think you should probably stop doing is stop shredding a bar of soap on your food. Though.
yeah, that would probably be a good idea.
Allie, where are you at? Just shout it out. She's getting rid of
She's
American.
getting rid of American.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
That's how. Yeah, that was easy. Okay, what's the second one?
All right, so
and
the-
leave again. Comments. Hit us with it. We want to know.
yeah. Next one. All right. Do you want to do movies or comedians?
Are we doing
Or directors
we're doing
or comedians?
directors?
Yeah.
Let's do directors first.
All right. So directors, and you could argue about who the greatest of all time is, but we picked 4 of our favorites for the sake of this. The 4 that you have to pick between, and one's got to go, is Quentin Tarantino, Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, and Ari Aster. One's got to go.
Oh man, this is not. Oh man, okay.
I'm not going to be making fans this episode.
Hit
by
it.
the way.
You gotta go first on this one.
Spielberg, he's gone. No one's going to like that. I love Tarantino too much. I want to see what Ari Aster's got left in him.
See, that's
And-
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I think Ari Aster is too young.
Yeah.
To get rid of because there's so much left to create.
Yeah.
My problem with Spielberg, because if I had to, and again, I kind of want to put a disclaimer on this where it's like, we're not going to like kill him off. Like he doesn't cease to exist. I'm just going to pick which movies I'm going to watch. The most recent Spielberg films I have not been crazy about. Like Saving Private Ryan, unreal.
Yeah, yeah.
E.T., classic. I mean, redefined genres, like created opportunities for, but like the most recent films that he's made, I've been like, if I don't rewatch them. I don't go to the theater for them. I wait until they're out. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah. But, Christopher Nolan, no way. He's staying.
He's staying for sure.
Incredible. The Odyssey next year.
Oh, that's supposed to be
I
really
cannot
good.
wait.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
I wasn't crazy about Tenet. I think maybe it's because I couldn't wrap my monkey brain around it, but
Yeah.
I wasn't. I could take it or leave it.
I mean, if we were to like zoom in on this more and get rid of movies from directors, Tenet would be one I could get rid
Yeah.
of for. But anyway, and then the other one was Quentin Tarantino. Again, just completely defined whatever that genre is. Like the genre doesn't exist without him. Pulp Fiction. There's pre-Pulp Fiction in Hollywood, and then there's post-Pulp Fiction in Hollywood, and almost you could argue almost every movie after that. Inglourious Bastards is one of the
Oh my goodness.
best movies ever.
Oh yeah.
So yes, that's probably it's a hot take. You and I are on the same page.
Spielberg's gotta go,
probably
huh?
Spielberg. Yeah,
Ryan?
Ooh, man,
I know.
I work with people who are huge Spielberg fans.
Well, Zenko's not gonna be happy.
He's not
I
going to be
don't
happy.
think.
Sorry, man. Who you getting rid of?
I would probably also say Spielberg.
Ah, see, and you guys are film guys. Like I just watch them. Like you guys have yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm happy you said that because I'm feeling validated. Allie, do you have an opinion on this? You probably don't. She doesn't.
No,
she
that's
watch it.
okay.
What?
We'll say she also.
She.
said
I don't
She
know.
also said
What-
Spielberg.
What's the last movie you've watched? Aaron. Okay, that's been out forever.
Way
She
to be
said-
topical.
She said Aaron Brockovich. Spoiler alert. They went. She. Oh, no spoiler alerts. Okay. She doesn't die at the end. She really doesn't. I'm just kidding. It's great. Oh, wait, can you hear the music in the mic? I don't know. Zumba's happening upstairs. Okay.
We got Zumba, so we got to do the last one.
Last one quick.
All right, so this is for the greatest comedians of all time. We're going to go with Richard Pryor, and one's got to go Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, and then Eddie Murphy. One's got to go.
Oh, see, I'm definitely not getting rid of Eddie Murphy or Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, no.
No way.
Nope. Even though Eddie Murphy kind of got rid of himself in the comedy world here, but we haven't heard from him.
But not because he was like canceled or like he was just like, man, I'm done with it.
There's a big part of the stand-up comedy community that like that was a stepping stone for comedy movies and stuff, and he excelled in those. So
there's a part of it to me where it's just like it's more, it puts him on a different level to say like, you know what, I already dominated this. I'm gonna go do something else now. Like that's hardcore.
That is true. That is,
you know?
Yeah.
And so originally I would have said Richard Pryor, and it's because he's not relevant now. Like he's not current, but there's no Eddie Murphy without Richard Pryor.
That's true. There's no Chappelle without
There's
Richard
no
Pryor.
Chappelle without Richard Pryor. So I think, and I my mind's been changed on this. I would probably Kevin Hart. I think
Kev's got to go. He's going to learn today. He's got to go.
I just think, I'm gonna tell you about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I just like there's something about it where it's like, yeah, it's don't get me wrong, he's funny.
He is.
I've watched his specials and I have laughed.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that he's revolutionized the industry, and those other three absolutely have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what people are going to say about this.
It's going to be a good one.
Ryan, you got one?
Ryan, who's going?
Who you getting rid of?
You already know it's going to be Kevin Hart.
Yeah, it's
for
got to
me.
be Kev.
Okay.
Sorry, Kev.
I love
Man,
Kev, but
we like.
And
you
Kev's
don't
watching.
watch specials.
stick
right?
to the movies.
We know Kev's watching. He watches every week.
What? Yeah, I guess I did, but I wasn't wrong. Okay. All right. Last thing we're gonna do: leave comments. You can go back and get the 4 things. We'll probably do maybe we could play a game on Instagram with like a poll or like
it's a good
something like with that. That's fun, and
That's
we'll
a good
see.
idea.
And next week we'll talk about where everybody's at. Okay. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna wrap. Do you have yours? We're just gonna see what everybody's thing is. How does this work? Do you just have to like match all 3? Did you already do it?
No, I was just showing the cam.
Okay. So you just scratch them all off, right?
All of them. Let's see.
This is going to sound terrible to
there's
people who
like
are just listening. We need like some Jeopardy music or something. Can I say that? Is that copyright?
No, that's copywritten. We're gonna have to bleep that.
Don't play it.
You're not allowed to say Jeopardy on the camera.
Oh, okay.
Or else.
So what is it? What do you have to do if you get 3 in a row?
No, you have to find a chicken.
Oh, I didn't get an egg. I got a sheep. I got corn. I got a piggy. I got tractor. I got bell, and I got milk. But tractor doesn't have any vowels. It's just TRCTR.
Yeah, you know what
which
you're
I
looking
just
at.
think that's interesting.
I got $5 over here.
No way, dude.
Winner, get it? Chicken dinner. Okay.
I get it.
Guess I got
Chicken symbol and win a prize shown below that symbol. Reveal an egg symbol and all 6 prizes shown. So I didn't win anything.
I won nothing.
Ryan won.
So how do you know you won? You got an egg?
You get 2 $5.
Say it again. I just read how to do it and I don't know. How did you? How
I
do you
got
know?
3 chickens.
Oh, okay.
First
So
time.
the chicken. Yeah, I didn't get anything.
Gotcha. Yeah. I got 3 chickens. 2 of them are $1 and one of them is $3.
Nice. Well, you're buying yourself a small Dunkin'
Yeah,
with
there you
that.
go.
Congratulations. I mean, you got $4 because this is a $1.
Little Caesar's Pizza.
It's a Little Caesar's Pizza. You remember when there was a $5 footlong? That was a thing.
Yeah, I know. There's a song and everything.
Did you know that they originally made those to be split between 2 people?
really?
Like, there's a commercial I saw that it was like, yeah, it could be $2.50 each for who's going to eat it, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
weren't supposed to eat a foot long. And they literally said nobody's going to be dumb enough to think you're supposed to eat a foot long. And we all were just like, only $5, and we just smashed footlongs,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway, all right. Thanks for tuning in. Does that make sense? Episode 2, Brandon. I'm thrilled. I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm stoked. This is gonna be
Allie,
great.
thanks for sitting in and just being moral support and helping social media. Allie is the social media person for this. She's going to help with guests in the future. She is way more important than you'll ever actually get to see, because she just does everything. She's fantastic. Ryan, tech stuff. The studio looks awesome. Thanks so much. Does that make sense? Episode 2, signing off. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much.